Wow, we are having a really hot start to the buyout market this summer, including guys like Damian Lillard, for example. That's an all-time contract buyout that absolutely nobody saw coming. DeAndre Ayton, obviously. The Lakers signed him, and that's how they got their new starting center, so thank you to the buyout market and thank you to Portland. Even upcoming guys like Jonas Valanciunas potentially working on a contract buyout with the Denver Nuggets, preventing them from having a backup center. Bradley Beal, obviously. According to reports, he's likely to take a contract buyout in the next 48 hours here, so that might be another target, and we're actually going to talk about him in this video as well. Talk about if he would be the best buyout market target for their team if he would of course hit the buyout market, which again is largely expected to happen, or if a different player like Marcus Smart, for example, would be a better option. Either going with a higher upside and higher productivity level per stats, I guess, with Bradley Beal here, more so offensively, or then go with potentially the better fit and better defensive fit like Marcus Smart, albeit having a lower ceiling and obviously not as productive offensively. But like I referred to, following the Cam Whitmore trade, he might get bought out. Many believe that he will, and it might only be a matter of when, not if. Now hopefully that when doesn't take all the way until the trade deadline, Washington holding on to him and desperately trying to get something through him via trade, which I don't think will be a possibility for them. Coming off a unproductive and kind of two unproductive seasons in a row now being 31 and being paid way too much for his current production level, I think they will have to resort to a contract buyout. But again, hopefully it doesn't take until the trade deadline, hopefully it comes in the next month or maybe even the next week here. I mean, they don't really have a spot for him anymore, kind of going in a youth movement with Cam Whitmore, along with the many backcourt players they've drafted in the past couple of years now, so again, I do believe that he will eventually be bought out. So with that in mind here, the question kind of comes down to if one or both of them would hit the open market via the buyout market, should the Lakers try and sign them, and if they had to pick between them, which one should they go with? Should it be with Bradley Beal, who would obviously give them more of an offensive firepower punch, giving them a new sixth man off the bench, or maybe flip-flopping him and Austin Reeves? Or should they go with the more defensive-minded option with Marcus Smart, more of a 3-and-D option? If he can get the three-point shooting part down and actually stay on the court, would he be the better option? Or I guess compared to the free agent market and the currently available backcourt market, would they be a better option, or should the Lakers go with that route? We'll talk about that and try to break it all down here. And well, to kind of quickly go over the currently available free agent market and thus their competition, I guess, theoretically, you got guys like DeAnthony Melton, which I like but not sure I put him at their level, Ryan Rollins, another player I like but also not sure I put him at their level, or for wing players like Cody Martin or Amir Coffey. Once again, not sure I put them at their level, and probably not worth the contract or biannual exception compared to what Beal and or Marcus Smart could give you. Maybe. So with that in mind here, and with that being said, beginning with talking about Marcus Smart and what he can offer and what he has been able to offer in the past couple of years now, which is not exactly the Marcus Smart that played back in Boston. With that being said though, he still is a productive player when healthy, though that's definitely been the big if for him lately. I mean, during the past 2 years now, he's only played a combined 54 NBA games, and that's obviously not good, dealing with a combination of both lower body injuries and upper body injuries, so it's kind of going downhill for him in that regard. You know, he had been very durable up until that point, playing 61 games in the 2022-23 NBA season, 71 during the 21-22 NBA season, so not sure I'd write him off quite yet in regard to health and durability, but it definitely has been a problem for him lately. Though when he did get traded from Memphis to Washington last season following the trade deadline, he did show signs of life, playing a whole lot better offensively, shooting 39.2% from the three-point line on 3.4 attempts per game. That would actually be a career high for him if he did it through an entire season, so maybe something to look for here with Marcus Smart and some reason for optimism with him going forward. But then defensively, that's never been an issue for him, whether you're talking about steals per game and being a defensive pest. Obviously he does that, averaging 1.1 steals per game in only 20 minutes per game last season, over 2 per game in the 2023-24 NBA season, averaging over 1.5 on his career, so again, that's not a problem. I mean, we're talking about a former Defensive Player of the Year here at shooting guard or kind of point guard even, winning that award back during the 2021-22 NBA season, so yeah, defense is not and probably never will be a problem for Marcus Smart. Maybe not as good compared to back then, but still borderline elite when locked in and again, obviously healthy. So talking about the Lakers' need or potential need at backcourt and really for a better point of attack defender, we've talked about this. Ideally, I'd like to have an upgrade over Gabe Vincent. Vincent isn't terrible, but simply not their answer for a reliable and borderline elite point of attack defender, and kind of that smaller 3-and-D guard, kind of combo guard too. And well, even talking about this version of Marcus Smart, I definitely would pick him over Gabe Vincent. Again, don't hate Gabe Vincent or nothing against him, but I still would take a better point of attack defender, a very good screen navigator, and simply a better defensive pest. I would take Marcus Smart over him. Whether that meant then trading Gabe Vincent and offloading his salary, or simply bringing in Smart and kind of overtaking his role, I definitely would think about doing it. Now again, we are talking about an up and down 3-point shooter, so he doesn't exactly perfectly fill the 3-and-D role that we're looking for here. When talking about guys like De'Anthony Melton, if healthy, that would kind of be the ideal part of that 3-and-D, but it's hard to find a better point of attack defender and more versatile defender in the backcourt than Marcus Smart here. So in that regard, definitely wouldn't mind it. Obviously is a veteran player and does know how to play for a winning contending team, showing it back in Boston, playing in a bunch of playoff games and 108 of them to be exact, so that wouldn't be a problem either. But with that in mind here, if both he and Bradley Beal would hit the buyout market and they both wanted to pick the purple and gold, which one should they pick or which one would they pick? I did talk about Bradley Beal in a previous video this week. I know there's a lot of kind of discourse about that and disagreement if he should be signed by their team and if the Lakers would or should sign him. I mean, he's not exactly what they need, but are you really going to pass up a guy like Bradley Beal for roughly a contract worth $5 million or potentially for a veteran minimum level salary? I don't think you can. I mean, even as a third or fourth option and even coming off the bench for a bit last season, he still managed to put up roughly 17 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, over 1 steal per game, and shooting a very impressive 50% from the field and nearly 39% from the 3-point line. I mean, overall having roughly 50-40-90 shooting splits, or I guess 50-40-80. Regardless though, very impressive for Bradley Beal. Even looked locked in on defense for a time and showed that he kind of can fill a 3-and-D role. Not quite the D part of the 3-and-D, but not terrible defensively, while remaining very efficient offensively and still putting up some pretty good numbers too. The only kind of argument it comes down to again is for the Lakers' specific need and for the role that they want to fill, again that 3-and-D backcourt player, would it be better to pick up Bradley Beal or Marcus Smart? That's kind of what it comes down to here with it. Should they sign by fit or should they sign by best player available? Often the argument for drafting players and if you should draft for best fit or best player available, that's kind of what it comes down to here for the Lakers too. Bradley Beal obviously being the best player available if and when it happens, and again it's a pretty sure thing to happen, or eventually wait for Marcus Smart, also again kind of a matter of when not if. Hopefully the when is this week or next week, but it might take all the way until the trade deadline for Marcus Smart, so keep that in mind here too. And with that being said, I think I probably would go with Bradley Beal, just from the fact that it's a guaranteed happen or a near guaranteed happen later this week. If you would take the Lakers offer, whether that be their biannual exception or veteran minimum contract, that's absolutely a great bargain in my opinion. Again, no, not the perfect backcourt defender, not the most defensive minded player on the open market. In that case, and if you only want to go that route, then yes, you probably should go with a De'Anthony Melton or maybe a Cody Martin, I guess, but for everything that Bradley Beal would and could offer to their team, if you take that contract and if you'd want to play for their team, I'd have a very hard time saying no. And yes, they could sign him or potentially both of them, I guess, if they wanted to go that route. I mean, the simple pathway is to simply waive Shake Milton, the non-guaranteed contract of Shake Milton, and then replace him with either one of Bradley Beal or Marcus Smart if and when they hit the open market. Now the argument to get both of them eventually, I guess, would be a salary dumping a Gabe Vincent or maybe a Maxi Kleber in addition to waiving Shake Milton. So I guess you could potentially go that route if you wanted to pick up multiple players off the buyout market, but simply talking about an argument between Bradley Beal and or Marcus Smart and who to pick between them if they would both hit the open market, I think I'd probably have to slightly go Bradley Beal here, despite it not being the better fit on defense, simply getting more overall production and what he could offer their team, or any team for that fact. I think I would have to go with Bradley Beal here. With all of that being said though, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the current state of the buyout market? all the players hitting the buyout market, and then if both Bradley Beal and Marcus Smart would also hit the buyout market, which then would you prefer the Lakers to pick up here, and which then would you personally take? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.